the night again to start recording my progress from the day. Today has been mostly finishing up on the content for the image viewer, as well as tweaking a little bit with the image slider and adding in the login screen, which is what you can see on the front of the screen here. I'll play through it first. I've got to say that the code for the login was a lot easier than any of the other code that I've had to do before, partly because I understood how to do it now after all the testing. That's another new feature as well, is that it goes straight through to the email viewer right from the app from the beginning, so that once it's opened in the exhibition, if it's closed and opened again, it'll go straight back to there. So we have the image viewer. The main problem with the image viewer is the slider down the bottom. It doesn't resize the images properly. I did try to look into that, but it just didn't want to know. A few more pictures, some very bad ones of me during transition. The problem here is that I've had to cut out some pictures because they were too small. Is with the larger images it crops them so and keeps the quality of them. With the smaller images it enlarges them to the same size as the area. And the problem being that it makes them very grainy. I couldn't figure out how to fix that. And the other problem is that if I go to family, you can see that these images are very large images, and when you click on them they resize quite well quality wise, but you don't see hardly anything of the screen. Maybe one 1/100th of the square appears as the thumbnail. And that's something I can try and fix later on, I suppose, if I have the chance. I added titles to everything as well. My arrows reappear and disappear as and when they're needed. Miscellaneous has quite a few large images, which is why it takes longer to load than the others. It loads though, so I'm not too worried about having to crop everything down. The scroll bar is slow at first, but it tends to speed up once you I've given everything a chance to load fully. And these all appear up here once they load. As I say, I show you makes it lag quite a bit. One new feature, I'll go to the document section for ease, is I added these plus symbols to each of them. Now what these do is they open up the login box. So as you can see, you can open up the login box or you can cancel it. I still haven't put in the accept in the login. But if you click inside, it clears it, but it puts it back again. If you click inside and start typing a password, and then click into the other one, it saves it. And likewise, if you do the reverse, and then it goes back again with nothing in there. The one area that does work is there's now settings and a messenger, because those sections aren't going to be used. For these, you can click on help, which gives you the tips to username and password. Click again to close back down. Oh, okay, that's a bug that I wasn't expecting. Is it goes straight through to the you've won. I'll need to sort out why it does that. But the username and password is 113925 and 11181514. Log in. Go through to this screen, which is basically just a congratulations, a short afterword about the project, and then please click on the icons above to reset the program. Which is, if you click on any one of these, it will go back and it will reset the program. And as you can see, if you go back to Messenger again, it's logged you out, so to speak. If you click cancel, it goes back to whatever you was viewing beforehand. So if you're viewing the images, and you decide to try and access the Messenger, then realize, oh, I need to log in, I can't log in, I'll just cancel it. You'll go back to the previous screen, which in this case was the image viewer, to make sure it changes that text up there and updates that. So those are the two changes left to do tonight, and then that gives me Wednesday, Thursday to finish up my email viewer, which will be quite simple. I've looked through the code. My arrow code for the scrolling is the same as the text editor. My contact and messages are drop-down menus, which use the same system I've used for my drop-down lists elsewhere, and the content will all be XML driven, set out into a template, which I can organise the template using HTML and just upload the actual information into it. I'm planning around 50 emails, which shouldn't be too difficult to work through, and the username and password I'll briefly go over. If you go to here, you can see the username and password. Username, my name turned into numerics. If you know me, you know my formula. In other words, 113925, where 1 equals A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. The password, using the above formula, this password is my old name, even more personal than the username. In other words, people have to look through my documents. There's going to be references in the email, the images, and the documents. For example, one of my documents is going to be listed from my first year at university when I signed everything Aaron Chatley rather than Amiy Chatley. And some of the images, if you look through, it really depends on how much people are willing to look through things, because in transition it's got pictures of Aaron, Amy, it goes through. So if people look at this and realise this, then they'll realise the name change up there, which should hopefully be enough for Q. I'd hope it's enough for the Q. Let's cancel that, and I'll update again tomorrow once the email layout is done, and then my last update will be once the email content is done, which will also hopefully be tomorrow night. Thank you very much.